What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Saturday to you all, and welcome to another live beer review. Today we're going to be taking a look at a beer from a brewery that I'm going to be very surprised here because I haven't done a review for these guys in a hot minute, and they're definitely up there with one of my favorite breweries, I think, within the country. They make some fantastic stuff. I'm talking about the Brewing Projekt up in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and they do all kinds of different styles. They make some fantastic stouts. They make some great IPAs. Their sours are phenomenal. And today we're going to be taking a look at one from their Milkshake IPA line called Resist. And this is their Pina Colada Resist, which is, it's an IPA brewed with milk, sugar, pineapple, toasted coconut, citra, and mosaic hops, and then conditioned on vanilla. So Milkshake IPAs are a fantastic kind of another introductory way to kind of get yourself into IPAs because they're a lot creamier. They're a lot more of a desserty kind of taste. Definitely a lot more fruited flavors going on with them as well. But when it comes to the hops they use, they usually balance out the hops with these kind of styles of IPAs to kind of complement those fruitier flavors going to come forward. They want you to kind of have like a beer replicant of a milkshake kind of situation. So that's with the milk sugar and the lactose in there and all that kind of stuff. Just to help with the creamy mouthfeel. There's going to be more sweetness than usual. But I'm pretty damn excited. It's kind of getting colder here, so having something to kind of get me back to the warmer kind of months, at least make me feel like I'm back in the warmer months, is definitely something I'm looking forward to. But I'm trying to remember if I've had any beers from the Resist line. I don't recall 100%. Actually, let me look here. Let's see. Let's do this really quick. I'm 100% if I've had any of the other Resist beers, so this might be my first Brewing Projekt Resist. So let's see. Brewing Projekt. There we go. So let's look here and see what I've had from them. I know it's been a lot of their smoothies, I think. So I've had the ones where they did the Things We Don't Say line, which, see, I've had a couple stouts, of course, the smoothies. I don't think I've, the Puff Tarts, correct, yep. But I don't think, let's see. Okay, I have had one of the Resists. I had the Resist Blood Orange, but I don't think, was I doing, I don't know if I was still doing reviews when I did that. I don't remember correctly, but today we're going to be taking a look at this one, which is, I said before, it's the Pina Colada version of the Resist, and I'm pretty stoked to have it going to taste like. I think it's going to pretty much taste close to Pina Colada, of course, the pineapple, the coconut, all that kind of stuff in there. I'm really curious to see how those hoppier notes are going to kind of intermingle with it as well, but I think with the hops they used in there with citra and mosaic hops, it's going to be a really nice balance, adding more tropical fruit flavors into it. Of course, a little bit of citrusiness to help balance that out, but let's see, if I didn't mention before as well, this is a 7.2% ABV, so I would definitely consider this in the category of being sessionable. So let's crack this thing open, see if we get on the nose with this guy, because I want to drink it. So let's see if we get on the nose with this guy. Oh yeah, definitely kind of gets me like feeling like it's like a Malibu kind of situation, which is interesting. So it's like you get the pineapple, you get the coconut. It definitely, the booziness part of it almost makes it smell like a Malibu, like the Malibu rum kind of situation. I wonder if they did that. Of course, definitely getting a little bit hoppiness now that I smell it a little bit longer, but definitely right up front, that first initial sniff I did just reminded me of Malibu rum. I don't know why. But yeah, this smells pretty damn fantastic. So I'm going to be drinking this out of my untapped pint glass this afternoon, so let's pour this guy and see what it's all about. I'm expecting it to be pretty hazy since Milkshake IPAs are pretty hazy usually. But yeah, look at that. That's definitely a darker color to it, a little bit of a head. Nothing too crazy, of course. I'm do a little bit of swirl because the lactose definitely, in Milkshake IPAs, there's definitely stuff that kind of settles at the bottom. So let's get that pouring in there. But yeah, this looks like a hazy son of a bitch. Good amount of head. Well, I wouldn't say good amount of head, but decent head to it. Look at that. That looks absolutely delicious if I say so myself. Almost has more of like a orange juicy kind of color to it. Definitely reminds me of like the color of like a papaya as well. So that kind of deeper orange color to it. The head is definitely a nice little touch to kind of make it look like a nice pour right there. But let's give this guy a try and see what it's all about. So cheers everybody. Happy Saturday. Yeah, it's pretty damn close to a Pina Colada. I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys. It's very creamy, very smooth. Definitely has that really nice creamy mouthfeel. The hop notes that you get in it, to me, only complement the pineapple flavor that just is the most predominant thing. You get a little bit of the coconut mixing in with the pineapple, but that's what you'd expect when you have those two flavors working together. The pineapple is going to be very, very predominant, but then you want that coconut in there, gives that a little bit of a roasty coconut kind of situation. But overall, I think the flavors are pretty damn fantastic for the first sip that I've had. This is pretty damn nice. Definitely sweet, definitely creamy. Like I said before, the hop notes that you get in this one are only there to complement those like pineapple and coconut flavors you're getting. Of course, it still tastes hoppy. You definitely know it's still an IPA, but if you blindfolded somebody, you can definitely say, like, is this like a boozy pineapple juice? Because there's definitely very, very strong pineapple flavors going in this. But yeah, I think this is tasting absolutely fantastic. I'm definitely enjoying this one for sure. Yeah, I'm curious what's going to happen once I start kind of drinking this down to where it's getting closer to room temp. Because sometimes with milkshake IPAs, the more room temp it gets, the more of the acidity kind of comes out a bit more. But of course, pineapple is its own natural acidity. Of course, Citra, Mosaic definitely have their own like acidic levels to them. But of course, most likely with the kind of the water chemicals they use during the like further water when they were doing the mashing and all that stuff, they probably put some water chemicals to kind of help with acidity and all that kind of stuff. But overall, the flavors in this one are pretty damn fantastic. So, looking here at Untappd, of course, we always try to find a similar beer to this one, just in case if nobody that's watching this can get their hands on this one, or possibly can't get stuff from the Brewing Projekt. So we have a couple options here. There's 3 options that I'm going to look through, see what they're all about. But then we're going to go through my beer history and look at other milkshake IPAs and see if we can find other breweries that either make this kind of style or make a beer similar to this. So let's see. We got one here from Bree City Brewing called the Smoothie Jams, which, let's see, it's a mango jam, guava with extra vanilla. Yeah, I can see pretty similar flavors. Of course, it's not going to be the same with mango and guava. You're not going to have the pineapple in there, but it's more of a boozy milkshake IPA. This one's an 8.5%, so I don't know if I consider this similar. Let's see what else here. We got one here from 608 Brewing Company called the Peaches and Dream, which is a milkshake IPA. Of course, Mr. Dream with peach nectar is what I'm assuming. The Mr. Dream is pretty much their milkshake IPA. They're like their base, and then they add a peach to it. So where is 608 located? Oh, they're out of La Crosse, Wisconsin, so another Wisconsin brewery. And then we got one here from Icarus Brewing Company called the Blueberry Guava Milkshake, milkshaking it, and it's a double vanilla variant as well. So that one's going to have a little bit more like berry notes. Of course, the guava is going to give it that funk to it. But if it's double vanilla, I would say that one's actually going to be a little bit sweeter than this, because if they're doing a lot more vanilla to it. So I don't know if I'd really consider any of these beers that I'm looking at through the Resist Pina Colada similar beers list. But let's look here at my beer history and see if we can find a brewery that's making this, like other breweries that are making this kind of style, or possibly something similar to it as well. So let's go to IPA and then go all the way down to milkshake. Of course, I've only had 15 milkshake IPAs, which is surprising. So we got a couple different breweries that are making this kind of stuff. So, of course, we got the Drecker Brewing Company with their Secret Handshake line that make some really nice milkshake IPAs. Of course, Westbrook Brewing Company has a pineapple shake IPA, which that's probably one of the ones that I'm considered pretty close to this one, just because it might be a little bit more pineapple, but I think the pineapple notes are going to be so similar to where it's going to be hard to like find the differences between the two. Unless we got one here from Full Circle Brewing Company with their oranges and cream. So let's see, Urban South, Evil Twin makes milkshake IPAs. Wise Man Brewing, Angry Minnow if you're in northern Wisconsin. Let's see, Short Fuse if you're in here in Illinois for the Goodness Shake. Pineapple, if I remember correctly, I always had a problem with this, the For Goodness Shakes from Short Fuse to be a little bit too acidic. We got one here from By the Horns Brewing, which is a pineapple guava IPA. Let's see. Energy City has their Milkshake Lassies IPAs, which their milkshake IPAs are really fantastic. And then we got, of course, Microphone here in Illinois, which was one they had called On the Evening News. But I think if I had to choose any of these ones that I'm looking at right now to be the most similar, it would most likely be this Pineapple Shake IPA from Westbrook Brewing Company. So if you're in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, and if Westbrook has this one available, this might be the closest thing you're going to be able to find to being similar to this one. So if you can find, or any other shakes from the Westbrook Brewing Company. They have their shake line where they do a bunch of different kind of milkshake IPAs with different flavors, but I think this pineapple shake from Westbrook is going to be the most similar for sure. But overall, let's get back to this beer. I think the Brewing Projekt did a really, really good job with this one. It's creamy. It's not too acidic right now. You're definitely still getting that pineapple coconut. There's not really any worry about it tasting like freaking suntan lotion or anything like that, because sometimes pineapple and coconut gives you that like suntan lotion kind of flavor sometimes. But I think they balanced it really, really well, and it's just a nice, creamy, very fruit forward milkshake IPA. So let's look back here at Untapped. Of course, let's look here at the description, which is pretty self-explanatory. Doesn't really show that much more on the can itself, but we'll start going through the ratings, see what other people are rating this one. So for the description on Untapped, it shows it's American style ale brewed with citra, mosaic, and lactose, coconut, pineapple, and aged on vanilla. So I'm wondering with the aging on vanilla if they did like the, I'm not really 100% sure how they aged it. But of course, to me, the vanilla is not really bringing in predominant notes. Of course, the natural sweetness that you're getting from the pineapple in there is really helping a lot. And of course, with the citra and mosaic having those natural citrusy and tropical fruit flavors, there's definitely a little bit of a sweetness that comes from that. But overall, I think they absolutely nailed it with kind of sticking to, we want to do a pina colada, so they picked hops that kind of help with that, and then they just used a bunch of the fruit that they used in there with the coconut and the pineapple in there, and I think they did a perfect kind of balance with it all. So before we start looking at what my ratings are and everything, on Untapped it says it's a 7% ABV, but on my can it says it's a 7.2. Sometimes they, depending on batch when it's either done or not, the first batch they probably did of the Resist Pina Colada turned out to a 7%, and then a batch after that, like the one I'm drinking right now, ended up being a 7.2%. But so yeah, still consider that in the realm of being sessionable. It's just below my cutoff line of 7.5, where I consider the cutoff is for being a sessionable beer. And with over 4,850 ratings, this one has an average rating of 4.04 out of 5, which is pretty damn good. Definitely a little bit more higher up there on the ratings, which is really, really nice. A lot more people checking this one in. But let's look here at my friends list and see what other people are, see if there's anybody in my friends list check this one in, because I know there's at least one. Because I bought two of these when I bought them. One for me, one for my father, because me and my father are big fans of craft beer. And he gave this a 3.5 out of 5. And I can tell you why he did it. He's not a big coconut guy. He doesn't like coconut. And definitely that pineapple coconut flavor that you get in there, there's definitely a predominant coconut note in there. Even though the pineapple definitely overpowers that, he's just not a fan of coconut. So anything he can taste coconut in, he's not the biggest fan of. So he gave it a 3.5 out of 5. So I just know that because he doesn't like coconut. And of course, purchased that on Tavour, which is how we got ours. But let's look here at the global ratings and see what other people had to say about this guy. So this guy checked it in, gave it a 3.75 out of 5. This guy gave it a 4.5 out of 5, purchased at the Perfect Pour, which is he got a little bit taster of it, which is a beer store, liquor store, smoke shop, wine shop in Elk Ridge. Is that Maryland? It might be Maryland, but that's a cool little kind of location there. So he gave it a 4.5. Let's see, another 4.5 here. He got this at the Great Taste of the Midwest, which is a little bit of a festival that's happening in Madison, Wisconsin. So they wonder if they had that on tap while they were doing that festival. And this person gave it a 5 out of 5, purchased that same way. Somebody gave it a 3 out of 5. Let's see, we got another 4.5 purchased off Tavour. 3.75, 3.75, 4.75 here, saying sweet pineapple and smooth. So there's definitely a nice smoothness to it. Of course, the sweet pineapple note is definitely there. Let's see, we got another 4, 3.75, another 3.75, 4.75 here, purchased at France 4.4, which is a liquor store in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So let's see, let's do two more. We got another 4 out of 5 here, purchased at Festival Foods, which is in Portage, Wisconsin, a little grocery store over there. And the last one we're going to look at is a 4 out of 5 here. And of course, there's another person that purchased at Total Wine in Minnesota. So looking at all these check-ins, definitely a lot of check-ins within the Wisconsin area. Of course, I know that the Brewing Projekt distributes down here in Illinois as well. And also looking at it, they definitely have some distribution in Minnesota. So you definitely, within that kind of northern Midwest kind of area within Wisconsin, Illinois, and Minnesota areas, where you're going to see a good amount of distribution for the Brewing Projekt. Of course, we saw some stuff in maybe Maryland as well, so they may have a little bit of distribution on the East Coast. But, of course, if you want to try to pick some stuff up for the Brewing Projekt, check your local liquor store or bottle shop. See if they can get stuff from them. They'll get a hold of the distributor, and maybe their distributor can pick some stuff up from them. But overall, with this beer, I think the Brewing Projekt did a really good job. So let's start trying to figure out what we are going to do for ratings on our end with this one. So, of course, the first thing we like to look at is can art. And the Resist line for their Milkshake IPAs from the Brewing Projekt definitely have a nice little theme to it. There's this little skeleton guy that they like to have chilling on there. Of course, the Resist logo is always that kind of like tracing your foot in the sand kind of feel, like it's an SOS kind of look. So that's what it reminds me of specifically. So it looks like the skeleton's wearing like a little grass skirt, sitting on the beach with coconuts, a little pineapple in his hand, fires everywhere, skull and crossbones. It's kind of a little fun little can art. Definitely something that would catch my attention at a liquor store or bottle shop. Of course, it's just a nice fun little thing to look at. The skeleton has a funny looking face, which I think is great. He's wearing a hat. So I think they added enough detail with the space that they had to kind of make this appealing. Of course, they have their token kind of Brewing Projekt stuff that they put on here when it comes to the logo, the kind of describing the beer and telling you about the ingredients in there, and of course the ABV. So when it comes to taking up all the real estate they can, I think they did a pretty good job at it, because looking at this, there's really not a lot of space that wasn't taken care of when it comes to taking up the entire can art. Of course, you got a little spot right there, but they took little accents to kind of in the background, and then right there. But the rest of the picture is done really, really well to kind of take up that space and just make it really eye-appealing, and I think they did a good job. So I think I'm going to give this a 4.25 out of 5 for can art. Definitely like it. Would definitely be something that would catch my attention. Of course, it would be more of eye-catching just because it's the Brewing Projekt. I know they make good beers, so if I saw the Brewing Projekt in a liquor store or bottle shop, I would automatically be going over there and looking at it and see what they have over there. But let's see here as well. If I got this beer in a flight over at the Brewing Projekt, would I get another one? To be honest, I probably would. I definitely like the flavors enough to where I like the pineapple, I like the coconut, I like those little hoppy accent, like hoppier notes that are in there that come on either on the middle end or the back end. The sweetness is nice. There's not too much acidity, so definitely would not have a problem with having another one of these if I got it in a flight for sure. But with that being said, what am I going to do for a final rating on this guy? To be honest, it's a solid beer. I definitely want to try some other stuff from the Resist line. See what other kind of stuff they have available. Maybe they have some more fall-themed stuff from the Resist line coming through right now. Maybe like an apple pie kind of situation. Have some apples in there with a nice IPA. I think would be a really nice touch. Or maybe, I don't know. See if they do any fall-themed Milkshake IPAs. I'm definitely really be curious to see what they have with that. But with my final rating on this guy, I think I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. Really, really good. If you have the option to pick this one up, if you find it at a liquor store or bottle shop, I would definitely recommend doing so. Flavors are great. If you like pina coladas, if you like pineapples, if you like coconuts, all of those are different flavors that you're going to get out of this one. So I think this would be a super solid pickup if you're able to get your hands on it. So I definitely would recommend. But other than that, let's see here. I think that is pretty much what I have for you guys today. Short and simple, easy review, great beer. What else can you ask for? So other than that, let's see here. I think that is pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are awesome. If you haven't yet, please hit that like button. It would help me out a lot. Also, if you're new to the channel and like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, along with that notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I go live during the review. I got a review planned for tomorrow for you guys, but I don't have one for Monday because I'll be going into work. So maybe I'll have a review or two between Tuesday and Wednesday. Of course, later at the end of next week, I won't be in town. So there won't be any reviews coming from like Thursday up to possibly Wednesday of that following week. So try to get a couple more reviews out there for you guys before I go out of town. But other than that, you can find me all on my social media platforms. You got my Instagram where you'll see what I'm be reviewing that day, plus different things that I'm doing over at the brewery. You can see what's going on at Fibs. So if you want to do that, shoot me a follow on my Instagram. Of course, we have my Untapped as well. You can shoot me a friend request over there on Untapped. It's a fantastic platform. I love that the kind of thing that Untapped has done over there, where they pretty much created Facebook for beer drinkers, because that's pretty much what it is. You can check in beers, get badges, do all kinds of stuff. It's just a really, really fun program over there. So if you haven't yet, shoot me a friend request on Untapped. I would love to see what you guys are drinking as well. So, link to my profile is down in the description below. And finally, of course, I always recommend the best way to help support me and help me do what I do is to get yourself over to the Patreon. I'm doing monthly 4-pack giveaways over there. Plus, of course, once things get a little bit busier, of course, you can have the opportunity to join the Discord when that comes up, and then have the opportunity to buy merch, glassware, all the kind of stuff like that. So, plus, I'm thinking about doing some other giveaways as well, except for besides the monthly 4-pack giveaway, working with our content creators, getting some of their stuff out there, spreading their name out there some more, and plus, possibly if there's ever a giveaway I would do with a brewery or something like that, that's definitely going to be on the Patreon as well. So if you want to take advantage of all that, plus you'll be helping out greatly, help me get more beer in my hands so I can get more beer out to you guys as well. Patreon is going to be the best way to do so. The link to that is down in the description below, or you can go over to my link tree in my Instagram and get it through there. But other than that, that is what I have for you guys today. So again, thank you everybody in chat for hanging out. You guys are awesome. Thank you everybody who's going to be watching the replay as well. You guys are fantastic. And I'm going to end this like I always do before we get the hell out of here. If you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. And I'll see y'all next time. Cheers.